But like, if you go back like 20, 30 years and like vibrators first came out, and I think I'm guessing 30 years ago, 40 years ago, maybe. And vibrators as a sort of sex toy for women is seen as a sort of, you know, yeah, she's got vibrator because she's, you know, exploring herself, and it's, you know, it's sensual, and it's just, you know, this is her, and it's her exploring her sensuality. But if a guy gets a sex toy, like a sort of fleshlight, or like an actual, you know, like a blow up sex doll, then it's like, oh, he's so fucking sad. He's got like a flesh torch that, like, there's a shame to it. And I wonder, like, do you think there'll be that with like robots as well? Like a woman could get a sex robot and everyone be like, yeah, because she couldn't find a man to satisfy her. And then,
yeah, because she deserves it.
Yeah,
because she deserves one.
But if a guy gets a sex robot, then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that motherfucker.
Yeah, but guys deserve that. Honestly, I mean, they've had centuries and centuries of just being douchebags to everyone around them. They totally deserve that. I am totally on board with someone calling me a fucking piece of shit or depressed piece of shit just because I have a robot to relieve myself.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm totally fine with that. Totally down with that.
What if that's part of the thing though? Like, what if you have the sex robot and then you get the sex robot to call you a piece of shit and like disgust, like you are disgusting, piece of shit, shameful, and then you know, that's all part of it. Yeah, call me that again.
Yeah, do that. Totally. Just do it. I mean, honestly, if there's one. If there's one section of society that deserves that sort of treatment, it is guys.
Yeah. I feel bad.
Do you not agree with me? I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you not agree?
I think some men, I mean, I have this theory about guys. I don't know. I'll share it and we'll see what you think of it. So I have this theory. This is my take on it. Is that imagine like you've got your 100%, your Venn diagram or your pie chart of men. And about 70% of men are all right. Like, they're okay. Like, they sometimes they say the wrong thing at the wrong time, or they forget to buy you an anniversary gift because they just had a lot on their mind or whatever, or, you know, they say an inappropriate joke with their mates or whatever. But a lot of women do that stuff as well. But like 70% of men are just sort of okay, you know? And then you've got, say, 4% of men who are monstrous, and they cheat on you. They take money out of your account without asking and fucking blow it, and then suddenly you've got no money for your rent. And then when you square up to them and go like, where the fuck's the rent money, you prick? Then they go like, oh, fuck you, like, then slap you around, like, and they call your mum a like 4-letter word over dinner. Like, these guys are monstrous, and they are men, but they're only like 4%. Like, they're super rare, I think, right? Now there's the last group of men, right? So what's that? 70 would be 30 up to 100, so that would be 26%, right? Then I think you've got the 26, it's probably more like 20%, but of these guys who aren't okay men, and they're not monstrous, but what they are is these sort of very dainty, slightly built super male feminist types who they could go after the 4%, or they could volunteer at a refuge shelter, but they don't do that. What they do is they go after the other 70% of like, all right, sort of, and they go like, did he not buy you a birthday present, or did he forget your anniversary? I would never do that. Why don't you come and live with me? Come over here. I'll save you from that nasty like, and it's so transparent to the 70%, and probably like the other 4% of it. You could see through it a fucking mile off. And I love women, and I know women who can see through that shit a fucking mile off as well. They're like, oh, it's fucking, I would rather be with the 4% guy, because at least then you know that he's a piece of shit. Whereas this guy is like this, he's disingenuous. He's just, yeah, you know?
I'm going to own up to being that 26%. I'm definitely the 26%.
Well, hey, I mean, you're married, I think so it worked.
I'm just saying that I think the I think the ratio may work for England.
Hmm.
I'm not sure it's a global number.
No.
I think the numbers change if you go to different parts of the world. I really do think so. I think I think a higher portion, well, I'd say that 26% is more like 4% if you go to India.
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of it is probably like Western culture, and we have quite a big progressive movement in the UK, which a lot of left-leaning politics I agree with. And I'm in terms of the definition of feminism and equal opportunity and all of that, I'm all for it. I just think there's something really icky about that. I don't know, that sort of disingenuousness and sort of trying to portray yourself as the knight in shining armor when actually your intentions under, once you scratch beneath the surface, is like, I'm playing the long game, mate. I'm going to tell your wife or your girlfriend or whatever that I would never treat her like that. And then she's going to come and live with me. And eventually I'll get to fuck her. Like that is what it is.
That's probably a lot of pretense in there. I agree with you in that sense.
Yeah.
But I will still stand by my original statement that if someone calls me a piece of shit for being a guy, I am totally fine with that because I totally deserve it by association.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I mean, I understand. And I sort of, I suppose I can't be too critical because I was thinking the other day that, like, I don't know what it says about my self-esteem, but if somebody came up to me in the street and punched me in the face, like I would assume that I had done something wrong, that I deserved it. I wouldn't think like, what an arsehole, like, oh, I can't believe he punched. I would assume that he knew someone that, and that person had told them what a piece of shit I was, or like.
Yeah, I guess the first question would be, what the fuck did I do to deserve that? That would be the first question you would ask yourself. What did I do? What have I done now?
I'd be like an abused dog curling up on the floor. I'd be like, yes, I deserve this kicking. Like, this is the natural repercussions to something that I've done.
I don't know how we got onto this from sex robots, but hey.
Yeah, we're here. We're here now.